Good morning and welcome to the Be the Light meditation. It's the middle of December in 2023, and I love to put a stake down for the timeline because we're working on and focus on different things than we were, say, 5 years ago. We're working on and focusing on different things than, say, 6 months ago. And everyone on this call is working on different things than they were yesterday. And why is that? Each of us holds extremely unique geometric structure, and it actually moves and changes with all of the 0 points. Nothing holds still in the universe. So sometimes you might have a little headache or pressure in your body. That's because a part of you, your little, they're called axiotonal lines, geometric lines go right through you, and you have little nodes, you have little 0 points. So a part of you might be, maybe you ate too much and you're sluggish, you're inflamed, and your physicality is not keeping up with the universal flow. And I'm making this really simple. Of course, it's a highly complex mechanism, synchronized of energetic flow. But let's face it, every day we feel different. And we can be really depressed in the middle of the week. And then say by Thursday, shift, movement, freedom. And you say, well, what is it? Is it because my, long dead great-great-grandfather hit his mother? I mean, we search everywhere for answers. But what we're really learning is it's vibration, and it got stuck somewhere in your body through intergenerational patterns, through a trauma in this lifetime, or even if your own repetitive negative thinking causing you not to line up. I got this idea this morning because last night I was sitting on the couch, I started itching all over and then sharp pains. And so I went through my day, humans, a nurse, let's rule out what gave me this huge crazy, my blood pressure went up. And I got really, really angry yesterday, really angry. Well, I found some moldy things just sitting there in the garage, circulating around all of our stuff in our house while we get a carpet. And I thought, how did this happen? How could no one have seen these moldy things So my anger ratcheted up, and I said, I have to take responsibility for my own emotional regulation, because that is one of the major things that get you out of your kilter and out of your zones lining up. Humans get to experience emotions when they come to Earth, but other universal and galactic beings do not experience emotions the way that humans do. That's part of the deal. You come in, the good news is you get to experience emotions, love, passion, hate, and all these consciousnesses line up to be born, to come into Earth, to have what we say blocks us from becoming the universal, even-keeled, peaceful beings. Isn't it crazy? We always want what we can't have. But so this emotional regulation yesterday, I had to take responsibility for the adrenaline, the cortisol, and that contributes to inflammation. Chronic negative thoughts, chronic skin, arthritic, inflammatory diseases. So, and then I thought, well, maybe it was the food, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, maybe it's the weather, maybe being in the moldy garage. But here's the thing. If you are coming to the Be the Light meditations regularly, we're coming to learn. I hope you are, because I'm learning it. These are all just the external. How we react to it, how we deal with it, how we come back to our center is our call, our choice. But first, we come to the noticing, gee, I don't feel different. Then you go through the list. I don't feel good, I feel different. And you start going through the list of potential causes. And then you know that everything that happens in the external that is coming in is also part of your internal etheric picture. For instance, I could have thought, how could this noxious element there in my garage over a tarp leaking out mold spores, how did I not see that? Was there something in my life that I'm not seeing underneath the underbelly, the toxicity of? In other words, it's easy to blame it on someone else. Why didn't our workers just throw these away? Well, they were in a hurry and they thought, well, there are shutters, they can't throw them away. There was no one to get mad at. So we look at everything in our lives now with clarity of, is there a meaning there? And why have I brought this into my life as the topic du jour and set it in front of me to understand more of what I'm creating in every moment? So that's the human experience. And we're at a point where we're being tasked and called to begin to create a future which is free of messed up energy that makes us feel sick and on alert and what happened and blah, 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 blah. So that's why I said today we're mid-December 2023. And when something happens that throws me off emotionally, like getting really angry, but maybe I needed to get really angry just to see what the effect that would have on the world of people I was expressing it to. Okay. I checked it out with my neighbor. I said, would you be, yes, good. Clear the old junk to bring in the new, Monica. Yes, I actually asked my neighbor, would you be upset if you found all these moldy things when you had a mold issue and everything in your house was in the garage, even though you wrapped it up the best you could, but not everybody wrapped their stuff up? She said, I'd be so pissed. So that righteous anger right there. So as humans, we're always looking outside so we can blame and there could be a big problem. But what if we just stayed calm and took responsibility and we paid attention to the details and we slowed down and we kept our life simple enough that if we went in the garage, we had a mold issue and we saw a big pile of something there, we might look at it to see if it was safe for us, to see if it would work. Or we might even be so far along our path that we begin to have a conversation with our chronic disease, with our chronic emotional regulation. And in fact, this is what happened to me. This woman I met recently really uses her skills every day. And I got to tell you, I know the skills. Do I use them every day? No, I'm busy. I'm plowing through life. She uses her skills. So when I said, oh, I had mold poisoning, I have to watch it, she says, oh, why don't you clear that? Why don't you release your body's experience with mold to be one of positivity? Hello, that's why we need each other. So there you go. We have the tools and we forget to use them. Why? Because there's some payoff. I've taken a leadership course and it shows you, there must have been a part of me that needed righteous anger. Who's protecting me? Who isn't looking out for my well-being? Well, I wasn't. I was looking for righteous anger, and sometimes I just love to feel anger. I don't know, it feels interesting because I rarely get really angry. I love to hear my voice get big. I love to feel what I create. It's a discovery process. And I guess if it's a discovery process, it's good to see another facet of my personality and self. And I made a choice to get really angry. And I have to look underneath that. Why did I need to get really angry? What was that about? to see how other people would handle it, see how I would feel after, but it might have spiked inflammation in my system. So more discovery and more information. Now, why am I saying all this? Because you are a unique person rotating in the universe with noxious elements all the time. I'm thinking allergies, pollution, food creepiness. I mean, even they say coffee, like especially decaf coffee, has so many chemicals in it, and they're really nasty. And pesticides. We had decaf coffee last night, and I said, "How'd you sleep?" He slept terrible. So who knows? So let's take a deep breath and let's feel into all the noxious things that are throwing us off. Let's think about the ones that you can identify, and let's make some choices around those. Let's make some choices around what we are choosing to experience over and over again and what the payoff is. If you don't feel good, you're inflamed. Oh, attention, I don't feel good. Honey, do you feel better? Oh, I'm not sure. That's why I quit regular nursing. I couldn't bear the crybabies who love being sick, especially Marin General Hospital was really wealthy people, and they checked in to get attention from the young, pretty nurses. So what is your payoff for these things that you're doing that annoy you and you're not willing to look at the underbelly? Okay, I mean, there's simple ones. Sugar causes inflammation and cravings and candida. You eat it, and what's the payoff? Momentary sensory experience. Is it worth it? No. I tell people, when you keep doing these little things that violate your own system and what it needs, I say, would you run a red light? Never. And I said, well, you wouldn't get killed every time. I mean, it could be pretty good odds, especially in some red lights. They said, I never would. And I said, well, why would you eat sugar knowing that you're borderline diabetic? Why would you eat sugar knowing it creates brain fog and you crave more? And so they kind of get that analogy. So which items in your life of repetitive behavior are you really putting yourself at future peril of a crash? Where are you running the red lights in your life? I'm going to let you have a little moment here. I should put on some music. Inventory of the ways that I dissociate and reach for something or do something that is totally not in alignment with my well-being. And this is a very important topic right here in the mid-December when we're really getting into those big tables of food. You get to choose what to cook, what to put in your mouth, what to comment on, what to expect, what to create. So look at your list. Which are the ways that you physically get out of balance and emotionally dysregulate yourself on a regular basis? It could be quite a list. There's at least 2 or 3. Now take one item and say, what was my payoff for that? What was my buy-in that made it important for me to continue that behavior? Is it something else somebody else would think? The way that you want to be seen, or have some facade of only you can drop in and see the truth. So we're going to do meditation, and we're going to rewrite the story for the little things, and then we're going to pick something bigger to rewrite, something that you've been tripping yourself up with from flinging open that next door of light, so that you can begin 2024 free, present and accounted for as a light being, with enough junk falling off that you are breathing your divine truth You are reflecting the presence and messaging of Source through you most of the time. All right, let's drop in. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's let go of our thoughts and drop into our body, into our heart specifically. We ask and intend to set a sacred space, and that entails putting us in our own geometric structure that has little 0 points that match the 0 points for our mental, our spiritual, our emotional, and physical 0 points. And simply by asking and intending to line up our own 0 points with this geometric structure, we are connecting ourselves to the fabric of all that is. The energy lines, the acupuncture points or 0 points that run through the room you're sitting in, the street you're on, the city, the planet, the galaxy, and the universe. Let's have a moment of stillness to acknowledge the hugeness of your just hanging yourself, hanging out right here, right now, in the all that is, and feeling safe and comfortable and grounded. Being in this space is the easiest way to look at the truth, to use some discernment, and to make some decisions for shifts. So here we are, the end of 2023. COVID is over, we're all back out again, and people are being lit up and excited about projects. And what will you bring to the table for 2024? How lit up will you be? So that's the why. And the what is beginning to look in your heart at these little items that you know trip you up, that you know are not what your higher self chooses to do. It's some repetitive, protective, defensive, safety mechanism, soothing, comforting activity that knocks you off your 0 point alignment with all that is. You know how you go to snap your coat and sometimes you snap it and it's, completely out of alignment. That's what happens. Things are flapping around, they're not lined up. So let's pick one item, and you know that one item, the top of your list, represents a lot of training, a lot of dedication to being in agreement with that behavior, thought, action sequence. See it for what it is, a sequence. The thought, the creation, the reaction, and the outcome. And aren't you tired of it? Could be the way you interact with the person, the way that you buy eggnog and make the drink and then drink it and afterwards feel blah. You have your item chosen now. Contemplate that item. Sober, higher self, curiosity. Look at it almost as you would look at a child who constantly trips himself up. Go right to the core of the need that behavior serves. The payoff is the need. False comfort, short distraction. You don't have to know what it is, but you're moving into the vibration with your heart. We ask and intend that we send infinite love to this sequence of behaviors that no longer serves you. We allow it to dissolve in its ability, its grip over your neurological triggering, sequencing, choosing, and outcome pattern. Take a nice deep breath. And with this breath of divine light, see it losing its ability. It's like a chain link. Remember we were little in like second grade and we mastered cutting those little pieces of paper and we'd glue it with that horse hoof glue and make chain links. You are pulling apart this sequence and the links are falling and now they're blowing away and it's gone. We ask and intend that this vibrational pattern is now obliterated and any root energetic thread related to this behavior. We ask that this energy of release goes all the way down into the root to the beginning cause. For instance, if your mom didn't breastfeed you and you want to drink milk to have that, you get what I'm saying. Okay, we're going right down to the root. You don't have to know what it is, but just know that that spark of discreation is happening at the absolute root. So take a breath and feel the twirling energy of discreation like a spiraling energy. It is leaving your field now. Excellent. So we have just done what we intended to do. Released one small pattern. Now, that is going to inform other choices. Because you'll go to do something, you'll say, well, if I'm not doing A anymore, why would I do B? I can let that go too. So just by shifting, and we're still at the superficial level of thought, behavior, cause, outcome, you've changed a lot. You have a different trajectory now. So feel that truth. You were courageous to look at it and you discreated it and you always had this power. It just took a little hand holding to move through. The first time you learned hopscotch, okay, I gotta go on one leg. Pretty soon, one leg, two legs, one leg, two legs, one, off you go. Just like the big kids do. You are getting spiritual muscle, getting stronger every day. So now let's get right to the heart of it. What is keeping you from flinging open the door and merging with and becoming your higher vibrational profile profoundly and forever? And it is hesitation of what you might lose, a little apprehension for the unknown, a little attachment to the patterns of safety. And this is the bigger question. Can you breathe into that primal fear of taking a leap to be back in your pre-born, pre-birth, heavenly consciousness form? Of course you can do it. All you have to say is, I ask and intend. So let's do it. Because your will can overcome fear, so you can have the experience beyond the fear, and then you can choose, okay? At the end of this meditation, I'll say, okay, you can choose to go back pre-door, but that's not realistic. You can't undo something. You can't unsee it. You can't unfeel it. So I'm not going to ask that. It's going to be real, and you're going to like it. Just like your mother saying, and you're going to go to kindergarten, you're going to meet friends, and you're going to have fun, and you're going to like it, and you're like, oh, but I want to stay home holding on to your apron, Mom. It's the same thing. A big world, a new education, a creation of beingness. So here we go. Take a breath through your nose and a nice, slow, long breath. We ask and intend to drop into our heart of hearts, and that sacred lining, it has a script on it. And the script says there will be an initiatory day where I decide to leap past the outer consensus reality and even my own adherence and white-handed clutching onto the third dimensional reality, and I will feel safe enough to relax my fingers, to let go. Relax my fingers. Imagine your fingers are relaxing. Imagine your eyelids are relaxing. They say if your eyelids are relaxed, you're relaxed. Because you're going to have true, bigger eyes to see in a moment. Ask your heart, am I ready for the next leap, step on my path? Well, if you're here today, most likely the answer is yes. In your mind, repeat after me. I ask and intend to begin to move through the last door or veil beyond this third dimensional, co-created false reality and emerge into the larger, true, divine alignment. I am ready to merge now. But you may have noticed the door wasn't a door at all. It was like a pretend door of just like a fake color, and you could move across it easily. There was no blockage. It was just you deciding. So here we are on the other side, and notice there's no floor, there's no doors. Experience being free. Experience having your body be empty. Empty of your story. Empty of all your goalposts. Empty of your journey, actually. You're just here. There's no comparison. There's no before or after, better, worse, or who am I? No. This is your I am presence, so many have talked about. Just feel your body among the stars, the constellations. You don't even need to use your eyes to see because your whole body is a sensing organ. You see and feel everything. And in this calm, profoundly open, free state, you get to choose what to focus on. And in this state of immense freedom, maybe just explore the sensory experience of freedom. There's no need to talk to anybody, connect anywhere, time travel, no. Just be in this floating freedom, in this moment, fully. are remembering who you really are. A consciousness in the stars, fully awake, above it all, while living through and around and in everything simultaneously. All is well. Take a nice deep breath. We ask and intend that this energy anchor in, fully snap into our mental 0 point, snap into our spiritual 0 point, snap precisely into our physical 0 point, and snap fully, perfectly aligned with our emotional body. Our emotional body is singing, all is well. All will pass. All is in motion. Live and let live. Thy will is my will. I am held in the infinite love and truth of the universal fabric created by Source for me in all living consciousnesses. Let this send out beautiful fireworks into your body of a celebratory nature. Let this inform your base chakra that all is well, you are safe, you are at home. And lining up all of your other operational chakras to extreme health, communication formation, and streaming the pulse and light of the universe fully. And it is so. So before we come back and have community conversation, we're going to imagine to hold this energy in. We have a beautiful resilient egg around our entire body. And it is resilient, so everything in the third dimension bounces off. So you can hold and modulate and attune this as the energies of life move through you, unimpeded, with no effort, for resources and love and goodness to come into you and through you endlessly. And so it is. So go ahead and begin to come back and shift a little bit. Come back here into this room, into this space, and we'll say a little hello. Off goes the recording. This is Jan Jorgensen at the Be the Light Meditations every Wednesday morning.